Hey guys, Ermin here from Systematic Productions. Today we'll be taking you through how to make your bass tone go from this to this, all using the new Neural DSP Darkglass Ultra plugins, and in a whole mix context we should be sounding like So, the very first thing we want to do here is get our flat bass DI track and duplicate it 2 times. As you can see, 3 tracks in total. So we'll go to our middle track entitled Bass Darkglass Ultra, and as you can imagine, we're going to be throwing the plugin onto there. So this is how it opens up. The very first thing you want to do is take the quality slider straight to high if it isn't already. And now let's take a listen. So, sounds cool, lots of potential, but a little bit flat, a little bit boring. Let's see what we can do about that. This is where you want to decide whether you want to run the plugin flat or emulate a real-world, real amp workflow. So what I like to do at this point is pull up my favorite bass cabinet simulator, impulse response, or bass amp modeler and drive the plugin through there. As you can hear, it sounds like this. Just rounds off the tone a little bit more and gives us a slightly gruntier starting point. So we go from here, and the very first knob you want to look at is the blend. Blend essentially controls how much effect versus how much raw DI you get. Generally, in my experience, 3 o'clock to full is best. Now let's play with the drive. Once again, sounds pretty good at about 3 o'clock. So this is one of those plugins where the default settings at noon sound pretty great. You generally don't have to move them very much past about 1 o'clock in order to get to where you're going. So looking at the EQ sliders, let's see what we can do. One thing I would recommend doing is setting the low mid toggle switch to the up position, which sets the center point frequency to 500 Hz, making it a great position to cut away junk from many basses. As you can see, high mid's boosted slightly, treble boosted slightly, just to give it a little bit more life going into the amp, and the default high mid position at 3K is a fantastic starting point for us. Now we're going to explain why we created all of those extra bass tracks. The thing that you want to do with bass processing is divide up its frequency spectrum into discrete bands. So what we're doing here is having a low DI, a mid track, and possibly even a distorted track. So if we listen to the flat DI, which will handle the low end portion of things, it sounds like this. Because it's flat and undistorted, it's perfect for handling our bottom end. What we want to do is throw on our favorite compressor and aim for about 6 to 8 dB on the heavy parts. Sounds nice and consistent. Now what we want to do is filter out the top end so it sounds nice and dull like this. Alright, now we go back to our distorted track, filter out the low end so it sounds nice and thin like this, and then we combine the two. Now we have all the benefits of compression on the low end without messing with the distortion signal on the top end. Now what we want to do is fill in the gaps with the distorted track. Now here's one I prepared earlier. The great thing is that the VDU plugin is absolutely perfect for this. Just crank up the drive, crank up the blend, EQ to taste, and fill in the gaps to your heart's content. With that in mind, we once again filter out the bottom end so it sounds nice and thin like this. And we combine it with the other 2 tracks to sound like this. As you can hear, driving it up adds an amazing amount of grunt to the signal and makes it very nice and full range. So if you don't have your copy already, grab Darkglass Ultra from Neural DSP. If you like the sound of the bass guitar, it's actually a sampled bass instrument I'll be releasing called Submission Bass. It comes reamped with your favorite Darkglass tones out of the box, mix ready, ready to go. This is actually an abridged tutorial. To find the full version, go to the Systematic Productions YouTube page, and if you want more content like this, make sure to comment and subscribe. So until next time, thank you very much.